Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to make sure you know all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on all new episodes of Wade's World, Boob Windows and Long Boxes, our Hard R movie reviews, and so much more, all completely uncensored. Access starts for as little as $1 a month, full videos when you pledge $3 a month. Check us out at the link in all of our show notes, or just go straight to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Parrish, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Hello, and welcome back to another week, kids. We are the Capes and Lunatics. We are. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, that crazy man from New Jersey. It is
Charlie, the Professor Essa.
And she who, I don't know if she has been locked in a cell and tried to bite someone's face off. It is in Florida.
Hey guys, it's Little Hellfire.
She bites people's faces off when they're not even in a cell.
No.
Only if you ask nicely.
Exactly. It's all polite, you know. Our dear friend
It's
Lilith.
Florida.
It's Florida, you know. Can choose between Lilith, armadillos, or gators. Someone's going to bite your face off.
Oh my god, I saw a headline today. Somebody accidentally got stabbed with a real knife at some haunted house. I'm like, oh my god, it has to be
That
Florida.
happens every year.
It wasn't Florida, it was Ohio. I was like, okay, my
No, but yeah, it happens every year.
Yeah. Ohio's just Florida north.
Don't tell Tyler, but yes.
I'm going to be honest with you. The entire country is freaking Florida. We like to pick on Florida because they're like the obvious one, but I came from Michigan, and
they're the Florida is the floor drain of the country. You know, when
they're in a part of this country that ain't.
When lowlights try to flee their home state, they go down to Florida. It seems like.
Yeah, well.
Or you can go to San Francisco. Apparently.
Oh.
You know what the thing is America is filled with crazy people because America is built on an ancient Indian burial ground.
Cursed land. Yeah, no, it's true.
Cursed land, and so it's kind of, not gonna say it, but yeah, we're kind of in that situation where
the roosters have come home to roost.
As they do.
All right, so yes, we are here today to talk, to review Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, and spoiler alerts, Luca Parrish thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh!
He was laughing through the whole thing, and I guess we had to go out and buy him a Venom Halloween costume yesterday.
I don't think laughter was the thing they were going for.
What do you mean? It was a PG-13 romantic comedy. He had every right to laugh.
Fair enough.
Well, just when symbiotes are
You say
slapping
tomato,
people around.
I say tomato.
They did right by putting in the Cookie Monster voice. They knew what they were doing. I mean, it's PG-13. It's not rated R like it was last time.
Yeah.
So.
And of course, I mean, there were funny parts he got a kick out of Sonny and Cher, especially when I explained to him who Sonny and Cher were. So yeah.
Your kid, yeah. Well, I don't know if my kids know Sonny and Cher, but I know, so I assume they know.
Well,
but just the phrase "Sonny and Cher," it sounds funny,
Yeah.
Cher's a vampire. She should be in the next Blade movie.
I mean, why not? Quite frankly, to be fair, Cher loves to do self-parody because she did a whole thing in that Farley Brothers film with her and the kid from Malcolm in the Middle, I think it was, or. Yeah, it's just, she is all about that. She's like, yeah, I love to make it I love it. It's fun. I know it's silly that I look as good as I do, no matter how old I am, and I date younger men. Let's make fun of that. That sounds fun. So, yeah. I guess no one else saw the Chris Farley film with the two Siamese twins. Or the
I was just cutting up.
I was the one with Matt Damon.
I think, Matt Damon and somebody, I can't remember the names of the actor. I only remember Sonny and Cher. I only remember Cher was in it with the kid from Malcolm in the Middle, if I remember correctly.
I don't think
it was Doogie Howser.
Just for drops.
Yeah.
I think Doogie Howser was too old for her by that point.
Oh my!
So what did we think, guys? I mean, it was 97 minutes long, so
Again,
not a lot to talk about.
I mean, it was on par.
Mercifully, it was only 97 minutes. I'll be quite frank with you.
I mean, I thought it was on par with the first one. I didn't think it was like spectacular, but I mean, it wasn't like the worst thing I've ever seen. But again, what I
Was
did
that
like
a pun, Philip? Did you just try to sneak in the Spider-Man pun?
no, but
If it works, it works.
But no, what I was going to say is like, yeah, 90 some minutes. I appreciate that they knew what they had, you know, and they didn't try to stretch it out like to 2 hours or more with, you know, like, you know, him trying to get the ex-wife back, or, you know, just throw in.
I like that was very upfront. Just like, meh.
Well, yeah, because the ex-wife has moved on, and everyone knows that. Even Venom eventually accepts it.
Yeah.
And that's, you know,
they knew exactly. They were very, you know, self-aware. They're like, hey, this is basically a punch 'em up with Woody Harrelson's Carnage. So hey, you know, we can do this in 90 some minutes. Okay, do it. Get it done.
Again, it's a rom-com, so it doesn't have to be 2 hours. I'm just telling you. They knew the genre. They just didn't want to tell y'all. They were like, hey, Deadpool kind of sort of tried to do this as a joke, but we're going to do it for real this time.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think it worked. I mean, certainly there are places where people will find flaws, but I think you only find flaws when you start to think about it.
Yeah, this is definitely not a movie that you want to think about. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy it. Turn your brain off.
It's like, exactly, this is the kind of film that will be on, you know, will be hosted by some host on some broadcast television show in the future, and they'll do little quips between breaks, and it's going to be a lovely, fun show. And I enjoyed it, quite frankly.
Shut up and just lay there.
You know, I thought it was a decent film. I thought that the characters worked as they were. And,
the best review that I saw of it that I agree with is it is a PG-13 porn tentacle spectacular.
Well, certainly, if that is something... I mean, honestly, I don't even think that...
I'm just surprised they got so weird with it. It was a lot of comic book canon going around in there. And I was like, because Eddie and Venom have a very weird relationship. I didn't think they were going to go there, but they did. And I'm like, woo, mainstream's not going to like that one.
Yeah. Well,
could they have mentioned Lethal Protector any more times?
It was take a drink every time you hear it. They know what the kids are doing when we watch these movies.
Because that's going to be the title of the next set of movies starring
Venom,
Toxin the Lethal Protector.
Oh.
Yeah,
I agree with Tristan.
No, well, I mean...
We're going to the planet of the symbiotes. That's the next one. I hate to break it to you guys.
Well, we're going to see where they go next. I think I'm going to say I think Andy Serkis earned his sequel. I think that this met all the criteria that Sony needed him to do. I think if he has an idea for a sequel, they should do a sequel. And my own opinion on it is that, you know, based on my own fan theory, which we discussed, which if you want me to tell the audience, I'll tell them, you know, the reality is, you know, I think that the next movie, we'll see where Venom winds up after his next movie, which I guess we all know what his next movie will be, and we'll see where it goes from there. You know, I actually think they set it up intentionally to have a back door so that they could say, okay, here's how we're going to do these things next. Once we get rid of all the most popular characters.
Okay, my biggest thing with this movie is that, in my personal opinion, Shriek is a waste of butter character. I was very disappointed with the character of Shriek.
She was a plot device.
Yeah.
Exactly, a MacGuffin.
She was. And
it's very much in the vein of, yeah, I like Zazie Beetz in that last Deadpool movie, but again, she was kind of a MacGuffin too. I'm just saying, there's a trend. And I'll leave it at that and move on.
Well, that was basically just it gave Carnage something to do, and then at the end, it was
Woody
like,
Harrelson stole the show. Obviously, we all knew this. All knew this. There was no surprise in that.
No, well, he is. I mean, not for nothing. He is the best actor in the group. And
Suck it,
that
Tom Hardy.
is,
Oh,
I don't think Tom Hardy's going to disagree with
And-
me on
and
this.
it-
No,
New-
he won't. To be
it is.
fair,
I think if you
and
said
you drop his
Woody
voice.
he's a more
Harrelson's
buff
next-
Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, he's not gonna argue with you.
Yeah, he's going to say, yeah, Woody Harrelson's a really good actor. He's totally too old for the role, but that's what CGI
To be honest,
is.
though, Woody Harrelson, he hasn't really
Yeah.
aged that much. Considering
No, he's
saying.
got
after he just embraced his baldness, it's been pretty consistently. Is he in the league with Keanu Reeves and them? I don't know. Quite possibly.
Well, you know what he is he is an anti Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart got old early and played wizened battle-hardened warriors for years until he actually became a wizened battle-hardened warrior now. And he was a pretty boy who got to that point and then he just stayed there. He's I both are good. I love them both, and I will say Woody Harrelson's a great actor. He does a lot with the little he's given. I was worried they were going to try too much to try and humanize Carnage in this, and they really do stop.
Well,
They
because
really
that's
do
what they're
pull
doing
back.
with Venom, so they want to play up the other side of it. So
Well,
they can have their
played
cake and eat it too.
Well, to be fair, they played up a proper sociopathic serial killer, where he says, "You never said how I was abused, but the people he killed were not the people he was abusing, who had been abused, who had been abusive to him. I mean, maybe his mother and grandmother abused him. Yeah, I mean that's what he tells people, and what that abuse amounted to, we don't know.
F that
But
guy.
all the other people he murdered, certainly, because it's not like they ever said, "Oh yeah, this was the person at Saint whatever it was." Yeah, Saint S. Well, he never went to Ravencroft, but Saint Estes or whatever. These were all people. They made it a point not to say that, and they showed him kill a lot of completely innocent people, including a guy who's just at a bodega one day with a computer. And so within that, they made a point to say, no, he is absolutely, irredeemably a sociopathic killer. So anything he says to say, I'm really just a poor, unfortunate soul, is just gaslighting. That might not have gone over with older audiences who said, no, he was abused. But modern audiences, we're savvy to that now. We know, oh, I get it.
I'm just happy for Andy Serkis. I think this is the perfect kind of movie for him to direct, giving his acting credits. And so it wasn't as bad as it could have been on the Carnage and Venom, portrayal sides of things. So they're thankful for that.
Yeah, I mean, Andy Serkis did a good job on this, I feel. It's
tough doing the green screen stuff. And like I said, I just hope he gets to direct something else.
But I mean, yeah, the
in a
Easter
better
eggs
franchise.
and so many Easter eggs. Ravencroft, Saint Estes, because that was in Carnage's origin. Even when
Now, Phil, didn't I tell you way back when that this end credit scene was going to be bananas?
yes.
And I think that they actually are going to change that Morbius end credit scene. Now they kind of have to at this point, but
we'll see. We'll see what got to be part of the deal and what didn't get part of the deal.
Exactly, because that's been in the can forever. So I'm really interested now to see what they're going to do.
So yeah, giant spoilers, kids. If you didn't see it, the mid-credit scene in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I mean, the earth shook, and then all of a sudden Eddie and Venom see the whole J. Jonah, they're getting their money's worth out of J.K. that footage from J.K. Simmons saying Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
But the most important thing about that is literally Venom recognizing him and saying, that guy. And no one's mentioned it so far in the YouTube videos that I've seen, but that he recognizes Spider-Man, suggesting that the Clintar knew about Spider-Man. Suggests that maybe this was always the Raimi-verse that Venom existed in, and that it was people brought from the Raimi-verse in. Exactly what happens next, we'll have to see.
Or,
But
or like was there a Spider-Man in that universe? Because I mean, they did show there was a Daily Bugle.
Yeah, so it's
Well-
just different.
Yeah.
well, the idea is, so here's the idea. Here's my super connected theory on the whole thing. That basically this is a spread out version from that original Raimi verse that has this Venom in it. This Venom, because it's part of the hive mind, was connected to the Clintar that bonded to Topher Grace. And to be fair, there's lots of Eddie Brocks in the world. It's not like Topher Grace was the only Eddie Brock to ever live. That they both went into reporting.
Oh,
hey,
no, they're gonna Smallville it. Oh, I had a brother named Eddie Brock too.
At least it wasn't his twin pretending to be his younger brother. Never speak of the Jimmy Olsen Smallville thing. Never, because he was also a different. No, don't do that to me, though. Still bitter.
Or the Wally West thing.
Yeah, well, you know, it all gets crazy when you break it down. I'm just saying, it was interesting because part of me kind of had a feeling when the minute Venom says, "Eddie, we all have a past," I was waiting for him to basically say, "Yeah, this isn't my first time on this planet." Oddly enough, the last guy I met was named Eddie Brock too. But you know what?
I wasn't going to bring it up.
I was going to bring it up because you won't even believe that. You're not the first Eddie Brock I met.
So the thing I like is like a lot of times in those in the MCU movies, like we get an end credit scene, and you got to wait like a year for that to pay off. I mean, if this happens in No Way Home, I mean we only have a little over 2 months to wait for that.
Yeah, but you have to think that this was supposed to be released a little earlier. But I think they were holding out. This was like a secret, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, if this doesn't go through, we better not do that.
Is that why maybe they pushed it back up to now? Because when they pushed it back, they originally pushed it back to like October 15th or whatever, somewhere in the middle of October. So they're like, hey, let's give it a little more breathing room.
Yeah.
Well, they had to make sure that Disney was really going to give them the X-Men first, and after they gave him the X-Men, I'm telling you, you mark my words. You mark them right now. You mark them right now. Pretty soon, it's going to be revealed after the big thing that, well, actually, as part of the big deal, Marvel is going to co-produce X-Men films with Sony, set in that Venom verse.
My big thing.
And the Spider-Man films are going to stay over here at good old, nice, tidy MCU. Once we clear things out. And now it's going to be the Toxin verse because we're keeping Venom too.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, we'll see what happens.
I was going to say, I don't think it's going to happen either, but...
They're not going to give up Venom. I'm just telling you, they're not. You got to take that out of their cold, dead hands.
Well, then they're going to ship Venom back at the end of the movie. Along with Doc Ock.
Absolutely, I truly believe that.
We're gonna let all those guys go back, and it's gonna be reset to that.
And Sam Raimi will also be welcomed back with open arms. Is another thing that we'll get back from that. And Sony totally needs somebody like Sam Raimi. And I think that Marvel recognized that a lot of the people that love those Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, I really think that was a part of it as well. And so it's like this whole big orchestration just to get the millennials money.
Yeah.
Because we've been so poo-poo on the Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland thing. They're like, we got to bring them back in the fold too. Why not?
I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does, yes, Disney gets Spider-Man. They will take Venom, and maybe Secret Invasion is not Skrulls. Maybe it's symbiotes.
Well, you never know.
No, they definitely want to do the Skrull thing. They've worked too hard, and they can't waste Captain Marvel because people have so many issues with Captain Marvel. They're definitely going to go back to the Skrull thing. They have to.
Yeah. No.
They bit that whole thing off with Brie Larson. They're going to have to make that work.
Well, and to be fair, Skrulls don't need Captain Marvel. They just need Skrulls. And Skrulls are popular. They already have them. They're not giving them Fantastic Four. They're giving them second-tier Spider-Man villains at best.
They still have Miles Morales as far as I'm concerned, and that Into the Spider Universe is really all they need, but they're not going to give up Venom. Venom's been very profitable for them.
Well,
So-
fair enough. And maybe they give, like I said, maybe they didn't. Maybe they gave, like I said, my opinion. All of Spider-Man's canon, with the exception of a few characters that maybe be co-owned, alternate universe variations of,
I mean, at this point,
that come over with Tom Holland, and then you get Wolverine. You have the fun of recasting that, Sony. We're not going to touch it.
that's
All the
bad.
X-Men
That's what I
stuff.
mean. Nobody's crazy enough to want to deal with that.
Well, Sony might.
Although Hugh Jackman did say he would be willing, but he only wanted Disney money. Sony ain't got Disney money like that. That's what I'm saying.
You know,
I mean, but it even worth it for Sony to?
Because the only
give
other
that
person I've heard
character?
besides like Daniel Radcliffe is Tom Hardy that people want. Oh, and Carl Urban. Those are like the three. So
yeah.
Carl
Well,
Urban,
although to be fair, you could find a new guy, because Hugh Jackman wasn't everyone's idea of Wolverine until he was Wolverine. They could find a guy. You know, they could call up Danny DeVito tomorrow, and suddenly they have a Wolverine. You know, it's not impossible that Sony
Tom Cruise.
could thread the needle on Wolverine recasting in a completely
Sony is more of a
synergized-
clusterfuck than WB. So I don't know.
That's
I
what I
don't
was
think
gonna
they
say.
would
Well,
know
yeah,
what to
but-
do
but-
with it, and they don't want that pressure. They want guaranteed profit. Venom is a guaranteed profit. Clinging off of that, Disney Spider-Man thing is their thing at this
That's
point.
what I was gonna say. Is it worth it for them to sell Peter Parker fully? I'm like, right now they share them, and it's like Disney helps them make profits. and
Sony's
they
not even interested in being a movie company anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, they're barely interested in making films and, making like actual cameras what they actually set out to do. So it's like a whole thing that they're going through right now. So I think they're going to play it safe and just be able to ride on the coattails of, whatever Spider-Man and the Disney money can bring.
Which is fine.
Disney helps them make
if they're gonna
Spider-Man
do
money,
that.
and they get to play with Doctor Strange.
I think that if they were going to sell outright, they were going to sell outright, and whatever they had, just give it to Disney, because they really are not looking to be a movie company in the next 5-10 years, honestly. So I'm very surprised that they didn't just go ahead and give it away.
I mean,
be fair.
what's the number Disney has to hit for them to say, okay, yeah, take Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I mean, it has
that's the
doesn't
thing.
it?
I mean, that's sort of what it
Although,
comes
think
down
about
to.
it. It's like, residual income at that point, though. So maybe they don't ever give it up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, exactly. But at a certain point, they sign the contract that says, because from their perspective, they're in a tough spot. If Marvel says, you know what, maybe Spider-Man dies in the next movie.
Yeah,
We're not going
right.
to make him with you anymore. Well,
Yeah,
they
right.
can do it.
Yeah, they're not selling. Yeah.
All they need is a Mayday Parker, and they're fine.
What?
Trust me, they've done it before. They can do it again.
You know what? They're not they're not giving up all rights. I mean, Far From Home, I just looked it up, made $1.132 billion. So yeah, they're not.
It's residual. It's easy. It's literal easy money.
Again, Disney's doing part of your work for you. So it's like, and again, you
Yeah.
get to play with MCU characters like Doctor Strange. It's like, yeah, why would they give that up?
I know, but the fact of the matter is, this is where the negotiation comes in, because from Marvel's perspective, like I said, here's what I'm saying. I think they would be more than happy to give Sony mutants, because
If they don't want it, is what I'm saying. That's too much. Like, they're so busy not trying to not be a movie
I
company.
know,
that
but
they
it becomes this thing where it's like, we're going to give you mutants, and you won't give us Spider-Man. Maybe we take everything that you don't. Maybe we find a way to take everything that you have back, except for 1963 Spider-Man. Whenever we signed this deal, whatever is in that deal, maybe we're going to make your lawyers work twice as hard every day for anything that even resembles.
Well, we all know what happened the
Something
last
that
time
is
they tried to
outside
pull
the
this
deal.
and fan outcry. Like, Disney's already got a little mark on their back with the fandom. I think they're just going to chill out, play it cool, and just try to, maximize profits and minimize Sony's input as much as possible. That's just the best, not to rock the boat. That's just the best of both worlds for all parties involved at this point.
I mean, certainly, but I don't think.
So maybe in another 5 years they try to pull these shenanigans.
Here's what I'll say. That assumes Sony is being a rational actor.
I guess
And
Sony doesn't even want to be making movies. If Disney gave them the perfect number, whatever that is, they are gonna bail out of this whole movie thing and go, thank God.
I mean, if it's working right now for both sides, I don't think anything's going to change at the moment.
make it worse. It's still on par with the first one. So,
no.
You remember how terrible the declining quality of the original Spider-Man trilogy was. Let's just all be honest here. So they're learning. They're doing something right.
I mean, you basically could have just slapped these two, the first one and this one together and make one big movie. Yeah, I mean, it's literally almost,
Well, no, you can't because they don't really line up. There's a lot of retconning that comes in from the first movie to this movie that absolutely falls apart when you start to bring it together.
But at least it's but it's the same quality, whereas
they're good films, but I think that if you watch one to one, you're gonna watch them and you're gonna see exactly.
I still prefer the first one over this one, just to be fair.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, there was a little more to do. Again, this was literally just like, oh hey,
I thought the CGI action, the punch 'em up part was really good, but everything else was kind of like, okay, I'm bored. When's the next action scene?
Again, it was just Cletus gets obsessed with Eddie, and then Eddie and Venom break up, and then we got to get back together. Got to stop. Again, it was,
like I said, a rom-com. I said.
And I love the 90-some minute thing. It didn't seem to drag. I thought it was paced nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a decent film as it goes. It just, I have to ask why things happened the way they did. And when I look at things like, their decision to have Scream be a mutant, it's like, since we've gone this far without mutants being mentioned except in Fox properties, why is that suddenly here?
Well, I think that's the way she was in the comics. I don't know if they ever outright call her a mutant, but eventually her powers.
She says specifically the mutation continues faster than they.
That's what I'm saying. I've been in the comics. I don't think they ever straight up call her a mutant, but it's nothing happens to her. It's eventually these powers just come to her.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like I said, this is, see, they dodged that bullet in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with Crusher Creel. But, the reality is that this is a mutant character that they introduce with the word mutation. And they are obviously letting Sony play in that sandbox. And if you're going to let Sony play in that sandbox, you have to ask, why is Disney letting Sony play in that sandbox?
I mean, I think
because Disney doesn't want the X-Men. They don't want to deal with it. They'll keep them on the back burner forever, teasing us fans forever.
And again, they said mutation. They didn't outright say the word mutant. So I wonder if there's a fine line there. It's like you could say, someone has a mutation, but you can't call them a mutant or whatever.
Yeah, maybe that's Sony playing their cards close to their vest.
Disney used Vision and Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch before they had rights to the X-Men.
I know, but that's because, as has been established, they had a joint custody agreement that literally said, "Pick one. Okay, we get Scarlet Witch. We'll kill off Quicksilver in the first movie. No problem." And
again,
they said, "Okay, we'll take Quicksilver. We think he's cooler anyway."
And again, too, as far as we know, I mean, because again, this is comic book movies, but I mean, Shriek is dead, so it's like, that's
yeah, and she's gonna stay dead. Just my personal opinion, my inkling, my gut feeling.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll
I'm
see.
I'm not even interested in a third movie, to be honest. I think we've done all we can do here.
Well, this is what I'm saying. It's like I think the third movie will definitely be a
get back to the Into the Spider-Verse universe. That is the only thing I care about. Dear Sony, hate to break it to you, Tom Hardy has no interest in me.
I mean, I know the reaction is going to be bigger, but are they? You think they're just waiting to see what the reaction is when he shows up? I'm guessing in No Way Home.
Plot twist. What if he doesn't?
I'm actually.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's either there.
I am not convinced he will show up in No Way Home.
Well,
I just don't get the vibes.
I'm thinking it's there.
Everything else has been leaked about that movie at this point, so I don't think so.
But when you think about it, because I was thinking, it can't be that soon. It's probably Doctor Strange 2, but
because it's Raimi verse, it would make more sense for that to be.
But No Way Home is another Sony movie though too.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense for him to show up in No Way Home, but
like you said,
here's what I'll say. I think Here's my honest opinion. I think we'll get an after credit scene in No Way Home that's Venom going home.
You
Where
thought
it's
He's
basically
like,
the
no, I
same-
don't like it here. It's too
Well,
bright.
this-
I don't like it here.
Yeah, which, they kind of tap into that, where it's the grungy, deteriorating Mexican cabana, and then all of a sudden, it's the nice tourist resort now.
My favorite
Which
part
is
of that
their
whole
own
end credit scene is that
little-
the tourist is like, I've been through the blip, the snap. I don't even care what's going on here. It's just another strange day.
Yeah, what? People are showing up again? Okay.
So is that kind of
What are you doing in my room?
So is that kind of meta commentary? It's like, the MCU's kind of neat and nicer and cleaner than like the Sonyverse, So they
Yeah,
go-
exactly. I
Of
think
course.
it absolutely is.
I was just waiting for Venom to say, Eddie, we got upgraded.
No.
Is it an
Like
upgrade though? I don't know. Like I said, Disney doesn't really know the, like Deadpool. Like I am mortified for what they're gonna do with Deadpool. Absolutely mortified.
I meant the hotel room, but yeah.
I'm just saying though, yeah, I'm just mortified.
They're going to do just fine with Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds is a team player, and they're going to make it work.
Yeah, but they also, again, they downgraded the movie in the second one, and then they also did that holiday. It's just the whole thing that I just, at this point, it's going to be for first graders, and I don't know how to feel about it.
Well, no, because that was all, Fox, so Disney might take a different tact with it.
Yeah, I mean...
Really, Phil?
I mean,
Well, no,
They
First
love
off,
playing to the
Disney
lowest common denominator. They do.
They love... First off, okay, let's actually...
Why did your eye drift over to my box?
make some lines here. There's Disney, and then there's Marvel Studios. Just like Touchstone Films. Disney can produce things that are not quite Disney.
And aren't you the one that told me, Lilith, they're looking to do darker stuff over there?
Supposedly, but I don't believe it till I see it. I ain't seen it yet.
The fact that there is Deadpool is family-friendly, darker stuff. Deadpool is freaking the Munsters and the Addams Family. I don't care what you want to tell me. No, there's blood and violence. No, it's not. It's freaking comic books. He is the Munsters. He is Charles Addams level scary. That is who Deadpool is. That you want to pretend he's more than that just shows how, okay, it's cute that you think that's scary.
Nobody said anything about scary, but he does from time to time. His best stories are a little more not family friendly, shall we say? Is all that I'm saying.
Well, yeah,
and they
but
probably won't
neither
make
is
it to the
Charles-
screen.
Neither is Charles Addams. Neither is Gary Larson, and they were in the Sunday Funnies.
International Women's Day. Come on, Charlie Esser.
Is it in the butt?
Yeah, in the butt is fine, and that's the difference between the world that Charles Addams and Gary Larson had to deal with, and the world that Deadpool gets to deal with. Is that nowadays in the butt is fine. It's just whatever makes you happy. Don't send me pictures, okay? And that's the difference. And so, Deadpool in a PG-13 film, even an R-rated film from Disney, is actually really likely. Because, quite frankly, it's just sex and violence. Your legs and this is America.
Well,
We've
they're
seen
fine with
it
the violence. It's the sex stuff that actually is, kind of integral to his character. Kind of like, like I said, I was surprised that they brought this up, but Sony's not afraid to go there because they're waiting to get canceled so they can stop making movies. I'm just saying. I'm just letting y'all know. Sony desperately does not want to be in the business of making movies anymore. They don't know what to do. And I'm just like, you can call Tom Cruise. He's right there. He will buy the studio from you.
He will, and then Scientology has its own.
Well, they already have Miramax, so he's looking to upgrade.
Kind of in this, what? Then maybe
I'm just saying, like, he truly is looking for an upgrade for those Mission Impossible films. So, Sony, I'm just saying.
Yeah. You hope Sony will figure it out, but,
Like I think they got it down to a formula with Venom, so they're going to hold on to that with their... to get that out of their cold dead hands. But then again, and then into the Spider-Verse, they don't really need anything else.
But again, to be fair, the formula in Venom is actually just the toxin formula. It's actually the entire, let's have a conversation, let's work together, let's talk about let's work out an agreement as to how you get to be a symbiote, and will be a hero at the same time. That is literally from the Toxin comics.
And basically,
So
and
the
basically,
introduction of Toxin is the way of saying, you know what? Even if we decide to get rid of Venom or whatever else, we still have Toxin, and we can tell those stories.
and basically, all you have to do in this universe is bite someone with a symbiote, and now you have your own symbiote.
And Tristan Tristan hopes that Venom sticks around because he liked the story in the Sonyverse. So, I mean, I'm not saying I don't know. Smarter men than me are in charge of this stuff, and smarter people than me, I'll say. Just be polite.
Too smart.
And to be fair, what Sony decides to do is up for grabs. But I think if Sony really wants to get out of the business, no one's stopping them.
Well, they're shareholders. So that's the thing.
Fair enough.
And they're playing
But my favorite scene in the whole movie is when Venom eats Carnage. So
F that guy.
Chef's kiss, best way to end the movie. I wish all movies ended that way. With
Which
a little
I
bit of
believe
cannibalism.
in an early version, Venom did that once before too.
Hey man, they set that up, man. The whole movie, man. That's all Venom wanted is a human brain to eat. Come on.
Exactly. That's what I call S tier payoff.
Yeah. Well, but to be fair, I mean, quality of brains aside, it's he ate them.
Brain's a brain. Hey, even what's his face?
Even if it was a little smooth, it's fine.
Oh my! Even Dan redeemed himself. Is that his name, Dan?
Oh, Dan was great in this. I love Dan. He was delightful in his role as the rebound guy, who made good. And I appreciate a rebound guy who makes good. And he's like, I'm not a part of your superhero world, Ann, but you know what? I respect you, and I'm still going to love you regardless of this nonsense.
I'm just saying, she missed out. His ex-wife missed out. She could have been Lady Venom. I'm just saying. She's missing out on typical porn parties.
Whoa. She doesn't really want to be Lady. That's the thing. She doesn't really want to be Lady Venom. It's like, it's fun on the weekends to be Lady Venom, but nobody wants to be Lady Venom 24/7 like poor old Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock is freaking Venom every day. Even by the end of it, Venom is like, I like that Dan. He's cool. It's fine. We didn't need him, but he is fine. I'm basically a freak. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, it was fun, Eddie. It's nice that you have your little Venom thing you do, but yeah, I'm going back to me being a lawyer, my husband being a doctor, and we saving people on the day-to-day and not eating people. Because that's all craziness. Thanks for playing.
But oh yeah, and then at the end there, before the hotel scene, he's sitting on the beach. I was like, oh, Lilith, that's when he dragged Spider-Man to that desert island. So many Easter eggs.
We could have had it all. That's all I'm saying. We could have had it all.
We might have it all. Who knows?
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean,
I was like, oh yeah, if he shows up in No Way Home, what a Christmas movie.
Exactly.
The alien trying to bite your face off. Christmas.
Well, they've said, they need... First, again, it's this assumption that they're going to do a Sinister Six.
They're going to do a Sinister Six.
I don't know.
They're threatening us with a Sinister Six. Like I said, if they don't change... I'll be curious to see if they change the Morbius end credit scene, because basically that's what it is. So
yeah, I'm going to say that we're threatening them with a Sinister Six. I don't think they care. I think that we're going to get like a couple scenes with Doc Ock, because that costs money to make, Alfred Molina look better than he did in the first one. Which one they did, they said, well, we'll make you look like you're 20. He says, well, if you're going to make me look like I'm 20, certainly I'm in. And, we'll get a pumpkin bomb, I guess. And then it's going to be, oh no, that's all snapped back. And maybe we get a Venom in there. Like I said, at best, we're going to get that end credit scene where Venom is like, what is going on? Oh, that guy. Oh, now we're back here. Oh, well, that was fun while it lasted.
Well, that's my
Let me
other.
tell you about that time in another universe I bonded with that guy.
Well, that's like in the beginning of this movie, the whole young Woody Harrelson. Was that really him? Did they do the de-aging thing on him? Because I didn't think it looked like him.
No. That was another actor.
That's what I thought. And they just did the what? They just did the voice because I was like, don't
Yeah,
we
they
have
did
enough?
the voice
Don't we have enough
is
young Woody Harrelson from
He
Cheers?
has
that
a
we could
brother.
de-age
I don't know.
him?
not
I don't know.
that
Is it his
young. He was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's in
No.
his
I mean,
20s, probably,
Woody
wasn't
Harrelson's
he?
been
Random
working
actor.
consistently since the early '80s, so we have plenty of footage too. So
Yeah,
I'm
but he
just
was
saying.
in his 20s when he started working in the 80s.
Yeah, but I mean, if you could at least get him
He
to
wasn't a
20s, you could
teenager, and
clean
no,
that up a
I
little
mean,
bit.
Everybody's
Like I said,
concept of a teenager is all messed up because adults play teenagers for the most part. I'm just saying. So
as was pointed out, at the time that this is taking place, Woody Harrelson was playing what's his name, Larry Flint. So in the 1990s, when the story takes place of teenage, what's his name? It
Cletus.
was when he was playing People versus Larry Flint. So that's that nonsense. So what are you gonna do?
letter grade, because I know Phil is itching to talk about a certain comic book this week. So
Yeah,
Okay.
we saved it for you, Lil.
I'm gonna give it a solid B plus. I enjoyed it. Tristan enjoyed it. Tristan, what would you give it? B plus, A, C minus?
I actually kind of like the story. I'm going to give it maybe either a B plus or A minus. I like the story. I like the characters. I like how Carnage looked. I was kind of hoping that they weren't. I'm glad that they didn't, like what you said, humanize a serial killer.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll put Tristan at a B plus, A minus. I'll give him the A minus. I think he liked it more than me. So I'm B plus. Tristan's A minus, and he likes that they didn't humanize a serial killer because you can't humanize serial killers. They are serial killers for a reason.
All right, now for the real take. Lil Hellfire, what did you get it?
a solid C as in cat minus. It's average. It's paint by numbers. And like I said, the waste of Shriek, that was a total waste of butter. I did not appreciate that. Sony just can't help themselves.
They shouldn't have killed her. Honestly, I don't think they should have
Naomi
killed her.
Harris, I'm just saying, that's a waste of butter. She is an A+ actress. Y'all could have done a lot more with that.
Again, how much can you flesh out? Yeah, they shouldn't have killed her because how much can you flesh out that character in the 90-some minutes, especially when you're really going heavy into the, Woody Harrelson, Cletus Cassidy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? They needed her to give Woody's character man pain.
Exactly.
And-
You know how I feel about that around these parts.
Well, again, she
Yeah.
was like Will said, she was just a
Because
MacGuffin.
Shriek is BAMF in the comic book, so I was just like, yay! Oh.
She in this movie, she was just almost basically an object that Cletus had to get, and then at the end it's like, oh hey, guess what? Symbiotes are one of their big weaknesses is sound. Guess what her power is? Sound.
Yeah, and they didn't even give her really a redemptive heroic moment. And it could have been handled much better, but that's why Sony wants to get out of films, because they're not that good at it. As Lilith pointed out.
They're becoming self-aware, so at least there's that.
I mean, hold on, give it. I'm probably gonna go down the middle of you guys. I'd probably give it a B minus. I mean, I don't know if it's just because my expectations were so low, and I was just like, okay, they kind of, they kept the quality exactly where it was at before. I'm not gonna say it's Shakespeare, but it's like, I wasn't disappointed. I kind of, I knew it's number 2. I knew what I was getting into, and again, it's the same quality they brought the last time. So
You know what the feeling is like? It's like when the monkeys actually finally type the Shakespeare that we were promised. You put a monkey in a room long enough, they'll type Shakespeare. That was the moment.
Well, yeah, and you know what? We've
it's a
already
Venom.
read Shakespeare, so what's the whole point?
And again, it's a Venom movie without Spider-Man. So it's like, what do you think? They're
I
gonna do?
don't know what I was expecting. Dead
Yeah.
bird don't open.
Well, again, you're gonna get a punch 'em up between Venom and Carnage, and that's what you got.
Yeah. I mean, I liked certain aspects of it. I liked,
No, not my TV.
I liked Eddie having to actually do reporting and sort of figure things out. I liked Venom using his eidetic memory to recreate all the images.
Oh, what about
They
Venom
could have
getting-
used a little more iron pumping, though. I'm just saying, lean into that part. You have Tom Hardy there. Use him.
Wilf is like shirtless.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, he's a gay icon now, so this total missed opportunity.
hey, what did we think of Venom getting his own Commissioner Gordon?
Boo.
Oh, what you mean, Patrick Mulligan?
Yeah.
Well,
At least it wasn't
Yeah.
a Stacy. At least I don't even think they were allowed to say that word in the Sonyverse.
I mean, it's fine. Like I said, I actually think that character was heavily underutilized too, quite frankly. So, I think everyone was underutilized except Woody Harrelson. This was kind of Woody Harrelson's film that everyone else contributed to.
I just picture him and freaking Andy Serkis on in between takes, just smoking a big old doobie and just relaxing, having fun, having a chat.
Well, I think that's the biggest problem is that they made a great Woody Harrelson film and then killed Woody Harrelson's character.
Yes! I'm just like, take the franchise from Tom Hardy for the love of God. I thought that's what we were doing here.
Well, and to be fair, I guess you can make the argument that they could always bring him back as symbiotes.
I mean, remember what Bendis did in New Avengers 3? Or was it 3? The Sentry ripped Carnage in half. I mean, come on. They can bring him back.
Okay, Phil is foaming at the mouth, so...
Okay.
What?
So we talk comic
Don't want
books. So
to your brain or anything, Phil. Calm down.
And they'll sobering up. So, yes, the only one I wanted to talk about, Amazing Spider-Man 74, 875.
Extravaganza! We got some questions answered. I didn't like the answers, but hey, we got answers.
We got the answer to why is Mephisto been so interested in Peter Parker.
did we?
Well,
Oh, because Mayday Parker's the one
who was
Dethrones him.
originally taking him down? Yeah.
which she still does in another universe. So,
Yes.
what'd you do? What did you do? I mean, it's like it's like Kang at the end of time, and I have to prevent any other Kangs coming into existence, except for all the Kangs that I know will already come into existence because I've already fought them all.
Well, to go with
It's
the theme of this episode, Mephisto's like, F that other Mephisto in the other universe. I'm safe.
Well, no, because it's all one freaking universe. It's one multiverse.
Well,
We're done with Kendrick is the big takeaway, and I couldn't be happier. God, I could not be happier. Don't care what it took. We're finally done. Don't whoever brings him back, they're gonna get a rotten fruit basket. I'm just warning you.
Do you think they're going to bring him back? I mean, they kind of wrapped that
10
up.
years from now, mark my words, somebody's gonna be like, you know what? I liked Kendrick. I don't care what the fandom thought. I'm gonna do something with that character, and that's the day they get a rotten fruit basket from Lil Hellfire.
To be fair, here's the thing about Marvel.
want to do.
They reboot this universe every 6 or 7 years. It's a quiet reboot. They don't
It's
make a
not
whole
even a
event out of
universe.
it.
It's just individual characters, which drives me insane.
But you know what? That's what they do. Because they say, you know what? We don't need to make an event out of it. We don't need to call attention to the fact that we're retconning things. We're just going to retcon it. And people will figure it out. And the people that are really nerdy will try and no prize it. That's the whole thing. It's like they have commissioned us to say, you guys figure it out. Can you decide? Can you just find out who killed Mr. Burns? It's like, well, I guess
It
we
was
have to
Marge.
now.
It was not Maggie Simpson. It was Marge. I'm just saying. Anyway,
Entirely possible.
Carly, I don't ever want to see you again, by the way, Phil. I don't know about you.
Oh, yeah, I think you echo most of the internet.
Well, everyone needs a good writer to tell their story. So you never say never.
She's the poster child of Brand New Day. No one wants her.
Exactly.
None of you old people like it, but maybe some of the kids like it. That's the thing. That's the thing about all this stuff. It's like freaking people that are like, oh, I actually like the prequels because that was my Star Wars, There are people that just got into comics.
You have no opinion. Don't you like Jar Jar Binks? People who like Jar Jar Binks actually are not allowed to have an opinion.
I like everything.
There's a drop.
I am a cockroach. I just that sounds great. Hey, it's always been my thing because I look for the good in everything. It's like, yeah, you know what? I can see I can see what they were going for, and I appreciate it.
Tony
I
Stark.
always appreciate hard work.
Tony Stark's
You
parents.
know,
He said hard work.
Oh,
you know.
We're never gonna get the Bendis interview, and I'm okay with that. So we can be honest here.
Anyway, but yeah, whatever it is, it is. I mean, it was okay. I mean, we got like 6 different Harry Osborns in one scene, and they're all clones. So why not? And that's the thing. It's like, do all the clones have souls? They don't really answer that question because it was always just Mephisto manipulating people just to be a jerk.
well, yeah, that's why
The whole thing is just Mephisto being a jerk.
it was never the original Harry Osborn. It was either clone. There was a computer program that's been floating around since the 90s. Yeah, and then the 2 kindreds were.
All the things we hate in the Spider-Man fandom.
Yeah.
And then the kindred. Well, and then kindred.
All the worst cliches of the Spider-Man.
Those kindreds were the quote unquote Gwen Stacy kids.
Although it's a little disappointing that we're supposed to be getting freaking.
I'm worried for the Beyond era.
We're going to be getting the Beyond Corporation. By the way, I have a theory on those guys.
Ooh. Well, the next issue comes out on Wednesday, so.
Oh man, I have to tell them to pull that for me
3 times a month, buddy.
Shout out to the non-stop Spider-Man being stopped. As a side note.
And going to Savage Spider-Man.
Here's what I'm gonna. Well,
I'm expecting some wicked burns.
Like, is it? Like, I was waiting for Spider-Man to get in the hospital bed by the end of this, but no, they give him a nice happy ending. That's fine.
No, I think he gets beat down by. I think he gets beat down by the UFOs next issue, probably.
Okay, well that's fine. But I mean, my thing with it is, it's like, so my theory on that they're all Beyonders. Like all those guys you see there, each one is a Beyonder human who lived. When the Beyonder was going to transfer his body, his mentality and powers into a humanoid form. These are the humanoid form Beyonders who lived, who didn't get destroyed, and then they all made a corporation together. That's my big theory. See if I'm wrong.
Phil, I don't know how to tell you this. I think that, since this was a $10 book and my Venom movie ticket was $10, I think the Venom was the better way to spend my $10 in the Spider-Verse this week.
Where's my FU button? Oh, okay.
I'm gonna argue that point. Mine was only $6.50.
Oh yeah, I don't think I spent $10. Oh, that's probably high for the prices. Hey, you got to excuse the drink, man. That middle story, we got a great power, great responsibility story. Come on.
Oh, that was nice.
I know my liver hates me.
I was waiting for that old guy to be Mephisto by the end of it. I'm going to be honest with you.
I think we're gonna be done with Mephisto for a while. I don't know that main story. I think they were kind of like winking and nodding. And it's like, okay, we're gonna put them back together, but they're never gonna get married again. But we'll keep them together, but they're never gonna.
They
marry.
live in sin. It's fine. I've been okay with that for a while.
Baby without getting married,
Oh, I know.
That's bad morals, Charlie. It's the 40s. See.
I mean,
it happens.
I mean, it's 2021. Like, do we care?
Hey, Charlie,
I could go for another sick wedding dress on the cover by an actual fashion designer. Like, I would love to see that in a variant cover.
Hey,
Mackie is a beautiful designer.
I agree with you, Charlie. I agree with you that people can have a baby out of wedlock, but in 1987, those two couldn't even live together until they got married. So.
But it's 2021, and that's the beauty. Everybody's living in sin at this point. Just out of convenience. Do you know what a 1-bedroom costs? Anywhere?
And to be fair, that's actually what happened. Is they wound up living together instead of being married, and that's how they have that other baby, Spider Kid. What's her name?
Was it Annie?
Annie, yeah.
Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? No,
yeah,
she
Annie.
isn't.
She ain't May, and that's what we know.
Get it named after the other ants, remember?
Yeah, Aunt Anna, total B.
Oh!
Yeah, see,
And this
that was the whole plan. That was
The
Mephisto's plan.
Watson side of the family is trash. There, I said it.
Oh!
Top to bottom trash.
Wasn't one of them a
Even
judge?
Christie.
Actually,
Yes,
yeah.
even Christie.
Yeah, I mean, actually, yeah, judge, New York City, yeah, okay. I understand your premise.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. I mean,
I have no objections.
I know he's not writing this current thing, but when we talk to JMD Mateus, I gotta ask, why is Janine still in jail in that Ben Rowley story? I mean, she's in jail because she killed her. Was it a father or stepfather who was like abusing her? So I'm like, why
As Texas has proven, we don't care about women.
She's been doing hard times since the '90s. It's like, why?
Well,
Basically
she, first
self-defense.
off, okay, she hasn't been doing hard times since the 90s.
I know, but still, it's been a couple years Marvel time. Come on.
Well, yeah, but, you get a couple years if you don't have enough money and,
Yeah,
and you have
exactly.
and the Beyond Corporation needs to eventually manipulate
Turn a building
young
into
Mr.
gold. Probably like
what's his name? Young Mr. Riley.
the Beyond Corporation just turned a building into gold or something.
Yeah, but no, they got to be subtle now. You see, now they're human. Now they understand the workings. You see, that's the thing. That's the point. Is now they understand. Oh, we got to do the subtle stuff. So okay, we'll lock her up in jail for against her will for so many years. We will bring her out of continuity. We'll bring her back into continuity so that this guy can be our little because we're going to manipulate Ben Riley with the most basic of needs and said, you want some of this? You want one of these? Here you go, Ben Riley. Now go do as you're told.
Hey, Charlie.
And that's what they're doing. It's very sad.
Hey, Charlie Esser, if you have questions or comments, man, end of October, we're going to be talking to Kelly Thompson. You want in on that? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What?
Got to be nice if I'm going to talk to an actual creator.
She's one of those She's one of those rotating writers on that on this Ben Riley thing. So,
well,
you could be like, tell me it's the Beyonders.
Oh well, she can't say what it is.
I know, unless they reveal it by then.
We'll be
at least
I
3
doubt
issues in
it.
by then. Yeah.
Well, it's the Beyond
It's modern comics, so she wouldn't even be allowed to at this point.
Oh yeah, and 3 times a month. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
It'd be like 20 issues deep. I know. I know. Oh,
all I'm saying,
yeah. Hey, Ben
it's
Riley.
the same logo as the original Beyond Corporation. So.
Oh. And then Ben Riley's big, man. He's getting JMD Mateus in January. He's doing a flashback Ben Riley series, the when he was Spider-Man the first time.
Since we kind of got robbed of it, to be honest.
Ben,
So it's
we
like
never
the
got enough
symbiote
of it.
Spider-Man,
That's the
but
problem.
Pony Spider-Man.
what?
So it's like symbiote Spider-Man, where you're going back and retelling those tales.
I
But
guess.
now it's
Ben
cloning
Riley.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Ben Riley Spider-Man.
Hey, man. Ben Riley's big these days. Suck it, Lil.
Back in the 90s, people had more money.
Oh,
Just
now
a hint.
there's an interesting.
Just a hint.
I love Ben Riley.
There's an interesting
Sorcerer
question.
Supreme.
Did Marvel give Sony Ben Riley?
Oh.
Tell you what, why don't you make a Ben Riley and you can have him? Maybe we're gonna end that. Maybe we're gonna end No Way Home.
Feels like
with-
Sony don't go out of business.
Oh my god! If one of these upcoming years, if I get like a Dick Grayson and Ben Riley movies in the same year, oh my god!
He'd explode.
Yes, my web shooter.
Heyo.
Heyo.
You never know what's gonna happen.
So you like the Venom?
So yeah,
movie
that
better-
was a great send off for Nick Spencer. We wish him all the best, but I'm interested to see what this rotation's going to come up with.
Can't be worse than Brandon.
I'm a little
Daly.
nervous. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, we don't want
We're
to
on
burn
the
somebody
bubble,
else.
and it's like they don't understand that we're on the bubble. So all these gimmicks and stuff going to 3 times a month. I don't know.
Well, they
This
have
feels
multiple
like
rights.
this feels like Superman, Death of Superman all over again.
Well, you know what? You know why they might be doing 3 times a month? Maybe they're trying to get to a milestone issue because next year is the 60th anniversary of Spider-Man.
Wait, they're
Doesn't
doing
make it any
Spider-Man
better,
3
Phil.
times a month.
Yeah, for like, was it? I think like for 6 months or something. Yeah, it's gonna be 3 times. Amazing's gonna be 3 times
And
a
they're
month.
doing a story go
If
around.
you
with the
can't make
author?
it honest, you might as well cheat. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's Kelly
Are
Thompson.
they doing story go around, or are they like 3 independent stories?
I don't know if I don't know if each writer's taking like an arc. So, but it's like, yeah, it's Kelly Thompson, it's Saladin Ahmed who's writing Miles Morales right now. Was it Jim
And
Zub?
Yeah.
And then
Those are all good people.
Patrick Leeson. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, they're putting some of their best people on it. So,
Okay, well, pick it up. I mean, I was planning on picking it up anyway, so no, because it has Beyond.
I'm just saying we're repeating the sins of the past all over again. Amazon's trying to make a company town, and I thought we outlawed that, to be honest. But like we're just making all kinds of bad mistakes right now that we shouldn't be repeating from the past.
and then meanwhile, the DC Comics fans have our fingers crossed because Bendis got a Substack offer.
Bendis.
You know.
I mean, if that's all it would have took was money to get them out, we could have did a Kickstarter. That's all DC had to say. Hey, we need like $3 million to get Bendis out of here. You got it.
Gimme.
Oh my god, that might be the fundraising thing, Will. I mean, buying all of DC Comics might be too far fetched, but if it was like, hey, give us money so we can give it to Bendis to leave, maybe people would contribute.
The internet relief, like I feel like the internet did breathe a collective sigh of relief. Honestly,
There'd be
so
fancy-
I mean, I like his original characters. It's just him coming in and bulldozing everything that matters that just don't sit right in my soul.
Well,
Irritates
that
the
always
hell out of my
happens.
spirit.
That always happens when they
But it's
bring in
disrespectful.
some-
There's a way that you do it, and there's a way that you don't do it. And he chooses the way that you shouldn't do it.
John Byrne did the exact same thing.
He did
so-
it better. He did it
I don't know.
better.
I haven't read any of.
I mean,
the other
look-
guys'
We did the comparison.
I mean,
Well, to be fair, John Byrne got to do it solo. He said, "I'm going to do Superman. It's
I'm gonna do what I want to do.
whether it's in continuity or it's not. It's not my business. I'm doing these stories. These are the stories I'm telling."
Yeah, well, he came in.
Bendis had to do it within the context of everything.
Yeah.
And I think it's a much harder gig.
Barely.
I think it's a much harder gig. Yeah.
Oh yeah, John Byrne got the better time because it was immediately after Crisis on Infinite.
Exactly,
He wanted to
you
reinvent
know.
Superman anyway. Bendis is just like, I'm gonna reinvent Superman.
He bulldozed everything, which is like no respect to anything that came before it, and that's the wrong way to do it. Period.
He slapped us in the face with that Rogol's are.
Yeah, you should always power up old villains, not create new ones.
And
Again,
that is a Bendis classic, baby.
again, Bendis formula: new villain,
Let's get rid of the kid, the wife.
destroys established heroes. New Bendis created hero comes in and
Let's get rid of Argo. Let's just destroy
Well,
that.
you know what that is? Because if it's your created hero or villain, then you get the
Shekels.
by credits. Yeah, character created by this. Whereas if you do, if you just take an old Kirby character and bring him in, they're gonna give that money to Kirby's estate, and it's like, why would you do that when you could just grab more money for yourself?
Ego.
Exactly.
Oh my
So-
god, that's why Jessica Jones was in the Avengers. Lil.
We discussed this. I said, of course, that's why.
I know he wanted Jessica Jones in the MCU in the worst way, man. He wanted them shekels.
We need the money. Gimme.
Well,
But on that note,
hopefully.
I will
I
give
don't need
that issue a solid B+. The other stories made up for the main story. I'm not a fan of the main story.
Nah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought they were all decent enough. I liked the fact that we got a little something with the Beyond Corporation at the end. That was my big selling point to it because it has Beyond in it. I just need my freaking guy in the blue suit with the blonde hair, and I'm going to be super happy.
And in a few days, Charlie, after the new issue comes out, you're gonna be getting UFOs.
I'm very excited. They're really marketing to me now. So it's like, apparently they said, who do we want to market to? Charlie Esser? Yes, Charlie Esser is who we want to market to. So let's just make all of our books ones that Charlie Esser wants to buy. And let's hope that's what the rest of everyone else
If
wants.
that conversation went down in a room somewhere, a little hellfire. Who do we want to market to? I want that super connectivity guy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not convinced that didn't happen. So that's all I'm saying. I think I'm much more popular than people think.
Yeah, the mustache guy from that podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, they're listening. They're always listening, Phil. You got people whose job it is just to listen to every social media thing.
It's true.
It's true. I know it's true.
We love you, faceless employee.
They recommended me. That's good. Yeah, I mean, it was good. I mean, I kind of liked the whole end of the Kindred thing. I liked how it was all it was still very ambiguous even by the end of it. And I liked that they sort of give into this idea of like, oh, because one day I will rule everything, and then everything falls apart when this one Sparta hero shows up. As if he doesn't know that Sparta heroes jump around universes too. That's the other thing about it. It's like Mephisto, but then again, I was thinking about this the other day or earlier today about like, how Mephisto without death is just an itch. He's, because I was talking about, Thanos, he's the avatar of death. I was like, yeah, but being the avatar of death isn't being death.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
his wife.
Well, it's not even his wife. It's his
exactly.
ex. Or it's the girl that he wanted to date in high school who never dated him. And he's like kind of a creeper about.
Yeah, he's just a creepy stalker, man.
Exactly. It's like, but when the Beyonder kills death, Mephisto says, no, what am I without death? I'm an itch. I'm annoying. Don't kill. If you kill death, I have no power. Because he doesn't. And that's the whole point. Is, these guys are nothing without death. These guys who are the lovers of death are literally people without anything going for them except for the fact that they love death. And that's
That's so edgelord material.
Exactly. And it's like when death says, no, it's like, I'll take the money, I'll take the car, but you go your own way.
We need the money. Gimme.
But yeah, so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the multiple Harrys. That's like my biggest thing for it. Like there's a dead Harry, and a live Harry, and a crazy Harry. I was sad that live Harry had to die, but they'll bring him back.
And how about the dead one? How about the dead one they dug up? Would that be Dirty Harry?
Hey-oh!
That's original Harry.
Suck
That's
it,
the
Kona!
And then the idea that first off, and that's the thing. That's, I think, is the real thing of it. I don't think you can sell somebody else's soul.
If it's your kid, they do it in the fairy tales all the time. So I don't know.
Oh no, they do it that doesn't mean it's legally binding.
But it's not the real world of
Fey law. Who's to say?
It's not.
Who's to say? I think
world.
Fey law works the same as underworld laws here. Don't eat anything. Don't touch anything. Don't look behind you.
But the real world.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm just saying. I get first off, who's to say that Harry's soul was that pure to start with? Because not for nothing, he did all this stuff. And that's sort of the thing. It's like that's the thing with demons and tricksters. It's like they don't actually make you do anything. You're the one that basically does all the things that they want you to do. And then you can blame them, sure, but you were the one instigating it. You're the one that's so mad at your dad.
Again, Cletus cast the argument how much abuse was going on in that house when he was a kid.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Well, I mean, that's really the thing. So from Harry's point of view, his father sells his son's soul, and then he treats his son poorly, so his son turns out awful. But really, he couldn't have sold his son's soul at all, and if he had just treated his son well, his son would never have been the
I thought he was a rich spoiled brat to begin with, so I don't know.
Well, no, but the idea is maybe he wouldn't have been if his father hadn't also been a sociopathic rich guy who sold his son's soul. It's like there was nothing to it except for Mephisto saying, I bet you if I tell this guy that if he sells me his son's soul, he's going to treat his son like awful his whole life, and that's going to make his son turn awful, and I get their souls anyway. And I think that's maybe the deal he did with Howard
game.
Too.
Absolutely.
Exactly, but then Tony wound up doing too much good in his life, as Mephisto once said. It's like, yeah, I gave a guy sold his soul to me for for powers, and then he just did good with his powers. And when they came to collect his soul, they said, no. That guy's been good his whole life. You just gave him powers for nothing, you schmuck. And so he vowed never to make that mistake again. So he starts going to people who are already super corrupted to make sure they corrupt their children.
Lesson learned, you know?
Exactly. Don't give away what you can charge for.
All right, we're ending there. Oh, that's an end. That's an ending if I ever heard one. All right, kids. So, speaking of selling your souls, if you would like to talk to us about Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, yeah, send your thoughts. We can read it next time. Any of the comics, again, Ben Riley's coming next in a few days. So, send us your thoughts. Email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can follow Capes and Lunatics on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Find links to this YouTube channel, or, well, the social medias for all the shows, links to this YouTube channel. See the stash in person. And most importantly, Patreon. You could please subscribe to our Patreon if you can. Once again, Southgate Media Group is no more. Everyone here is paying for this out of our own pocket. The team has put their faith in myself and each other. So, yes, pay them back. Please, speaking of selling your souls, please subscribe to the Patreon. Or if you would like to make a one-time deposit, go check out our new merch store at Teespring. We got all your favorites: T-shirts, cups, phone cases. That's right. I think
Do we have tank tops? The all-important tank top.
They might have tank top. I believe they do. It might have tank tops on there. So, what are you gonna send Ray one for Christmas, love?
Get one for myself. What do you mean? Check out these guns.
Oh, gun show. Yeah, do it. Oh, we have a gun show one week. Yeah. All right. So, yeah. So, find links to all of that all in one place, except for the gun show at Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. All right. Lilith Hellfire. Many a man have sold their soul to you. Where can people find you?
If you nerds want to hang out with me on the interwebs, especially this Tuesday, not the Flash, Stargirl's got the Justice Society featuring John Wesley Shipp, so y'all know I'm going to be live tweeting that because we are JWS fans over here. So follow me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire, on Instagram at Lilith Hellfire69, and of course on TikTok, making comments and only Star Trek related content at Lilith Hellfire69.
Hold me down and shut your filthy mouth.
Charlie up there.
Well, if you'd like to write to me that old-fashioned email way that our mothers and fathers once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com, and that's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet things. Probably, now that Channel 11 is coming in on my new properly positioned antenna, Stargirl this Tuesday, at Charlie Esser, that's CHARLIE, ERSER. Look for the two E's in the middle.
For quality.
I don't know about quality.
Thank you, Miles. You'll figure it out. It's we did it live. It's
you might have to pre-record.
Oh, can I shout out if you are watching CW on 11 at 8:30 a.m. this Tuesday, John Wesley Shipp will be on the morning show doing the interview about the Justice Society on Stargirl.
Nice.
I will be at work.
DVR it.
My DVR does not cover Channel 11. It's a rough go, man. You got no idea.
I was going to say, properly position the antenna, man. You get Tristan a chair to sit in while he holds the thing out the window.
No, we Velcroed it to the ceiling. That's the trick.
Hashtag 2020.
Might play one little if you're drunk.
It feels like 2020 still, so.
True. All right. For another week, we have been your Capes.
Ampersand.
Lunatics!
Ooh.
And hopefully we'll be speaking about Venom again in December.
Oh, it's going to be on the Thwippies.
Oh, I bet is he going to show up in Dillon? Oh.
that guy.
Thank you for joining us. And remember, F that guy.